Another WWE talent has quit the company. Also, in addition to that, we got to talk about it. The ratings are in for Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Was there an increase, decrease? How does everything look with Cody Rhodes now in WWE? And, of course, we got to talk about the Broken Hardys possibly coming back. As always, I'm going to keep you guys updated 7 days a week. My name is Ango, and for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Now, as you all know, I have said countless times that ratings do not matter to me. I don't think fans should care about ratings, and I've seen all the arguments that you guys have made. Whatever, you guys can think however you want when it comes to ratings. Good or bad, I just don't think ratings matter in wrestling. It's a whole different world these days. But I know there are a lot of people who are curious to know, what did Raw come in? Raw came in at over 2.1 million viewers, which is obviously a substantial increase. Now, the week prior was 1.9, and weeks before that, WWE was chilling and floating around 1.7 for Monday Night Raw. Now, again, one of the reasons why I say ratings don't actually matter, and I'm probably going to reiterate this every time it ever gets brought up, is just the fact that the rating system is old, and there's a lot of things that aren't factored in there. So it's important to understand that there are a lot of things that people look into when you are a stockholder or perhaps a advertiser or whatever it may be. Now, with that being said, what I really want to pay attention to is Cody Rhodes and so far how he has performed in WWE. So for context, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns is ready for the next step. This was the YouTube video that WWE uploaded. Basically, it was just the Roman Reigns promo from last night. This video actually drew 1.3 million views. And Cody Rhodes returning, going face-to-face with Seth Rollins, actually got 1.4 million views. So WWE is going to be heavily looking at the data. Obviously, Cody Rhodes is a draw. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's what the numbers suggest. And that's really what WWE is looking at. And that's what advertisers are looking at. And that is where WWE, I think this could be what solidifies Cody as a top spot in WWE. Granted, it is one of those things we have to see, let it play out. Hopefully, WWE actually doesn't drop the ball there. All right, guys, Matt Hardy, Broken Matt Hardy. Remember, he was in AEW as Broken Matt Hardy. Then it went away, the pandemic. There was just so many different things that ended up causing this to not work. The AEW audience was not really willing to see this, despite the fact that the Broken Hardys were just very successful outside of AEW. Now, with that being said, Matt Hardy did confirm on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, there are some things that he wants to do, and he wants to bring back the Broken Universe at some point, even if he's not wrestling in the ring full time. He wants to make it a small series and try to put it on a platform somewhere because it was just so much fun. In fact, Hardy says he would love to sit back and hook up with JB, aka Jeremy Borash, and Jimmy Long and do this and make it into an entertaining series. So it sounds like what he would like to do is have the Broken Hardys come back and do it on their own platform. Now, obviously, AEW having a streaming service at some point, having all of these resources and money and all of these different things, if they are looking at it from a content perspective, which I feel like Tony Khan should be looking at it from a content perspective, because as everyone knows, it's all about content. This is why WWE and AEW and Impact, they have so many events, so many shows, so many pay-per-views, right? This is what intrigues the advertisers. This is what intrigues the networks. If I were Tony Khan, I think they should absolutely do that when maybe Matt and Jeff Hardy actually retire from full-time in-ring stuff. I think it would be a good idea. Jeremy Borash, I don't know if he would be included because to my knowledge, I think Jeremy Borash is actually still with NXT. But the idea of it coming back could be really cool. And it doesn't have to be on AEW television. But I think if you're Tony Khan, you would want this to be part of your, family of content, really is what it comes down to. And with Tony Khan possibly being on HBO Max or having their own streaming service or whatever it may be, I think having Matt and Jeff Hardy do that would be really, really cool. And again, it's just more layers to things that they've already done in the past. And it doesn't really mess with AEW's programming because it wouldn't have to be on AEW, Dynamite, Rampage, Dark, or Elevation. But a very interesting thought. And, it's really cool that Matt and Jeff Hardy really enjoyed this because honestly, the Broken Hardys, when they were doing it in Impact and then we saw them go into ROH and then we saw them in WWE, it was very clear that the Broken Hardys, more specifically Broken Matt Hardy, he did a really good job. And then WWE did the Woken gimmick. It was a really strange thing. But I loved the gimmick itself. It's fun. It wasn't too serious. And I think that was always welcomed by the wrestling fans. All right, guys, now we got to talk about it. If you guys don't know who Pat Buck is, well, that would be quite shocking. Pat Buck, a.k.a. Pat Buckridge, has in fact confirmed his WWE departure. Now, if you guys don't know who he is, he was a former indie wrestler, but he's also very well known in the indie wrestling world as a great trainer. In WWE, he came in as a producer, which even from my understanding, he was doing a couple things in the talent relations department as well. Pat Buck actually was very respected in WWE. A lot of people enjoyed his work in WWE. You may have seen him on TV several times because Pat Buck had been involved on screen with Sheamus, Drew McIntyre. If I remember correctly, even during the pandemic, he was heavily used. So you may have seen him breaking up fights and stuff, backstage segments, whatever it may be. But Pat Buck is one of the producers for WWE that has actually confirmed on Twitter that he has left WWE. In fact, one of the things that he said was, as a producer agent, I feel that I have accomplished everything I want to do within WWE in the last 3 years. My endless gratitude beams from working with so many wonderful talents, especially the ultra-talented women's division. By the way, a lot of people who talk about the women's division typically talk about Jamie Noble, they typically talk about Pat Buck, and they typically talk about Tyson Kidd or TJ Wilson, right? He also says, to my brothers and sisters that are producers, you're the greatest collection of misfits that I've ever been with. I already miss my second family. Thank you, John Laurinaitis, for bringing me into this wonderful group. And thank you, Freebird, for being our foul-mouthed general. And to my fellow New Yorker, Paul Heyman, thank you for providing a mitzvah and helping this Gentile out. Sending love to the production truck, stage, crew, parking, travel, makeup, photo, digital, security, IT, writers, props, social, legal, seamstress, live events, medical, and any other department that I've leaned on for something. I look forward to using my time to return, expand my training schools and promotions, working all over and sleeping in my own bed for more than twice a week. To my darling wife, Lauren, and baby Harrison, I don't know how you put up with the gypsy heart emoji. You both. Dada will be home soon. Now, you might be wondering why I'm covering this. Guys, it's not the first time that somebody from WWE is leaving. But it goes to show you that while WWE is still a destination for a lot of people like Cody Rhodes, not everybody's going to want to come to WWE. The travel schedule, there's a lot of stuff that comes with being in WWE. What I would say is this. If you are Pat Buck, you are talented, you train people, you know how to run an indie promotion, there's a lot of things you learn from WWE. The wrestling world would love to see you stay around. That is for sure. His influence is definitely important to the industry. And, you know, this does open up another opportunity. Maybe, you know, when one spot is ends, there's another opportunity that opens up. So maybe somebody else could take that producer role. We'll kind of see how that goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. My name is Ango, and I'll see you guys next time right here on youtube.com/AngoYT. Thanks for watching. Peace.